Get salty!
Hey everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and today I wanted to talk about, well, the elephant in the room with a lot of control and combo players is, well, does Blizzard hate combo and control? Why is it that when Priest crawls up to a tier 2 deck, and believe me, I called for it to be nerfed, and we'll talk about that plenty, that they completely gutted it. If you take a look, I mean, the intro, you saw the win rate. After one day, Priest is nearing 40% win rate. Again, it's against all ranks. It's played by bad, worse players, whatever. But it's gone down nearly 10% in 2 days. That's not something small. And it was a control deck that wasn't even top tier, like tier 1. Even like Vicious Syndicate didn't have it as like the best deck in the meta. But regardless, it gets nerfed immediately. And you have decks like Face Hunter, which have been the top tier, top decks forever and ever, don't get touched. I mean, Igzar even tweeted this out. All the top decks, and one of them got nerfed, the Token Druid. Other than that, nothing. And it's like, those are okay, that's okay, but if a control deck is good, we gotta hit it. And I want to talk about, first off, with Priest, what, like, the telling part, the part that's really troubling, really problematic, and all the other stuff going on in the meta. So first, I'll just talk about the elephant in the room with me, is how I called for Priest to be nerfed, and the whole delete Priest thing, which I never said delete Priest. It was more of a meme. But what I did say was that the random generation in Priest was really frustrating, really annoying, but the healing part about Priest was really sweet, really awesome. The fact that Priest was so good at healing allowed it to be this control deck that could, stomp out aggro. But the infinite random let it beat basically every other slower deck in the game, which was really frustrating. However, instead of nerfing the infinite generation by hitting a Raise Dead, by hitting a palm reading, they went straight after the healing. They went after the best 2 healing cards in Priest, particularly Apotheosis. They absolutely gutted the card with the stats as it is now, and now you can't really run it. It doesn't give you that heal. You can't do the Apotheosis Samuro thing, and that was like supposed to be, like, everyone's saying, all the aggro players like crying that, it's this big board sweep. It's like Reno Jackson board clear, but in today's Hearthstone, you need that healing to survive. Theo tweeted this, and I thought it was really well put, that why was that healing needed in the meta? There's a reason you needed this combo to be viable, because the damage output by aggro decks is absolutely ridiculous. If you look at Shaman in particular, with their whole like Rockbiter, Storm Strike, Doomhammer, all that stuff, they can do literally over 60, 70, 80 damage in a game. And that's just an aggro deck. That's not even like a combo deck, anything like that. So the healing was kind of necessary, and now that Priest has been nerfed, they nerfed the control aspect of Priest. The infinite random garbage is still all there outside of the nerf to renew, which hits the Wandmaker part, but you still could go ridiculous infinite chains and outvalue every deck. You just can't live anymore because you die. It's just a greed deck now. It loses to all of the aggro decks. Like, you can't play Miracle Priest, the Rally Priest, because again, you just die now. You can't do it. So they just gutted all the good healing. They gutted all the cool control aspects of Priest, but left the infinite random. And my suspicions is they left Palm Reading, they left Raise Dead, because they're Shadow spells, and Shadow Priest is going to be the big thing they're pushing with the quest line next expansion. So we'll have to see and wait and see how that plays out. But the control archetype of Priest is basically dead. And this is, again, also echoed by Zedalot's feelings on it as well, that he wished they went after like the Sethic, the Palm Reading, the Raise Dead type of thing, rather than hitting the healing, because now you just can't really play control and it really sucks. So I just wanted to show you guys what the meta, according to HS Replay, looks like right now. So let's take a look. This is the HS Replay meta. We have Rush Warrior, which is like a aggro-ish deck, Death Rattle Demon Hunter, aggro-ish mid-range deck, Spell Druid, it's that aggro-ish mid-range-ish deck. We have Elemental Shaman, aggro-ish mid-range-ish deck, Face Hunter, aggro deck, Primordial Druid, it's more of a scam deck, mid-range-ish, aggro Elemental Shaman, and aggro deck, Big Demon Hunter, mid-range-ish deck, Secret Road, mid-range-ish aggro deck, Miracle Rogue, mid-range-ish aggro deck, Menagerie Paladin, mid-range-ish aggro deck, Secret Libram Paladin, mid-range-ish aggro deck, Menagerie Priest, this is the control priest, down to 50%, it's going to go down even more, but yes, control, a control deck at sub 50%, Spell Mage, basically a burn mid-range-ish deck. Malagos Druid, it's also just the mid-range deck as well. It's the John Bray Druid. Control Warrior, control, 46%. We got one there. We have our one combo deck in the entire game, Lifesteal Demon Hunter, 46%. Aggro deck and Poison Rogue, Libram Paladin, mid-range-ish deck, Spell Damage Mage, I don't even know what that is, Control Warlock is terrible, Rally Priest terrible, Delete Warlock terrible, Miracle Druid terrible. So basically, it's mid-range, it's aggro, and that's it. We have one combo deck that exists basically in the game, and two control decks that are sub 50%. That's kind of what we're coming at here. So why do I ask why Blizzard hates control? Well, there was this question asked to Ixar. And again, don't grief Ixar, don't give him crap over this. This isn't exactly a horrendous take or anything. It's just their take on the control combo situation. But Wes Davis was, he asked, Ixar, has Hearthstone decided to abandon control and combos viable strategies instead of preferring that matches be some sort of mid-range versus mid-range matchup? And Ixar says, no, but combo and control decks tend to have harsher and negative reactions with their most powerful decks in the game. We try to be cognizant of not nerfing all decks players complain about, because if we did, we eventually end up in mid-range versus mid-range forever. So he answers it, but not really. What he says is, no, we're not trying to abandon it, but implicitly states that if, you know, people are more sensitive to it, they get more negative reactions to it. So kind of implying that they don't really want it to be top tier because people get upset about it. And I don't know, I feel like people also get upset about aggro not letting them play their games. I see a ton of comments, a ton of stuff about, you know, whenever I talk about decks, it's like, how can you, especially the priest thing, how can you complain about priest and not wanting, you know, wanting to nerf priest and not wanting to nerf an aggro shaman and a face hunter? I don't get to play my cards, and there's total merit to that, but it seems like the complaints of the aggro players are heard more because it typically there are more aggro players than control, and also they want to cater to the bathroom break players, right? They like the short games. It a lot, you know, encourages people to play more, spend more, all of that. So I think from a financial perspective, it probably makes more sense to push aggro and all of that. And the other thing I wanted to talk about that also really hurts control and combo is the fact that they make these cards that just absolutely destroy control and combo. Like they make a Mindrender Lucia, which destroys a combo deck. They make a Ticketus, which absolutely destroys a control deck, but they don't really ever make a card that absolutely destroys an aggro deck. They kind of did with Blade Master Samuro and Apotheosis, but they nerfed it. They kind of did in Reno Jackson back in the day, but we haven't seen that type of effect in the game in years. Like, there's these cards that auto win against certain matchups, but never a card that auto wins against control. And if it does, it gets hit pretty hard. And if a combo deck becomes good, I also want to bring this up, like a Turtle Mage. Turtle Mage was like tier 3. They nerfed that because it felt bad. And that was another deck I did push to get nerfed because it felt bad. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know, it's like always control and combo getting hit immediately. The second they emerge as like a tier 2 threat, it's like nerfed right away. The last time I could think of a control deck that was really good, like really, like legitimately tier 1, was Dr. Boom Control Warrior. And that's back in Old Doom. That's like 2 years ago now. So everything else has been like tier 2, maybe close to tier 1, but it tends to get nerfed pretty quickly. And the aggro decks, not as much. Like, look at how Token Druid got nerfed compared to Control Priest. One got destroyed, the other one is still pretty freaking playable with Gibberling at 2. You just don't play Gibberling. It has Arbor Up, which is broken, and Lightning Bloom, which is broken. And I will leave off with this. I don't want to be old doom and gloom. If you look at the new expansion, cards, there's probably some hope for control. The quest lines look long term, at least the first two. I heard the warrior one's aggressive in a dev interview. The new warlock 1-mana spell is a good anti-aggro healing card. There's that neutral 4-drop that heals as well. So it looks like we might get some control tools, but when the aggro decks can draw their entire deck, deal infinite amount of damage, and then when all the good healing options and armor gain options just aren't there, and if they are there, they get nerfed, it's just like, do they care about combo and control players at all? And as somebody who loves playing combo and control, I feel left out. I feel like the game is meant for other type of players and not myself these days, and that sucks because I like playing the long games. I like making a lot of sweet decisions over a 20-minute game here and there, and that's becoming more and more rare as time goes in Hearthstone. So let me know in the comments below how you feel. Do you feel like Blizzard is really abandoning the combo and control meta? Or any decks, period? It seems like they're pretty rare. Let me know. Or if you're happy with the current direction of the game, you think it's good and all of that. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.